No, no, never.
Okay, check with Mr. Navalani. Mr. Navalani.
Wow.
Val? Hi. Good, how are you today? I think you hit me up for $5. They got a new thing on there. What's the new one? Yeah. That's what. You want to know that? You want to know that? Yeah. I'll keep going. Yeah? Signature page. been to him now?
Good evening. Call to order the January meeting of the Health and Human Services Committee. I'd like to welcome Mr. Cantwell. Even though you're not sitting here, very appreciative that you're here. We'll start with if there's anybody from the public that would wish to address the committee, now would be your opportunity. Please state your name and your residence, and you're limited to 5 minutes.
My name is Keith Kilgore, and I'm a lot nicer than that last name sounds. And I reside at 25477 Huntley Lane in Great Bend, New York. All right? Okay. I'd like to address the committee tonight with the idea of the constitutional right to life. And the one idea that I'd like to share with all of you today is the question to consider. Does our Constitution state explicitly that the unborn has a secure right to life? And that's what I'd like to talk about. Yesterday marked the 45th anniversary of Roe versus Wade. And in preparation for my short remarks here, which I'm timing, I have been reading and studying to the best of my ability that decision, Roe versus Wade, which any of you can read for yourselves and find for yourselves on websites like Westlaw and FindLaw. The entire decision is there. And when I was reading it, I was amazed at how plainly it's written and how simple it is to understand. And what that decision meant, or what that decision states, is that in the 14th Amendment of our Bill of Rights, that they were able to find a woman's right to terminate a pregnancy. And I looked at the 14th Amendment of our Constitution, and I'd like just to share it with you right here. It says, all persons born or naturalized in the United States, all persons born. The word persons come before the word born. And subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Now, I don't know about you, but I can find nothing in that amendment, the Section 1 of the amendment. The other sections aren't relevant. But those sections, I cannot find anything that says anything about privacy, much less abortion. Not a bit. And as I read those decisions, I also found that the justices that decided this case made some admissions in that decision. One thing they admitted is that the Constitution does not give an absolute right to privacy. It's just not there, much less a right to abortion. And another thing they admitted, that they had no idea when life began. Not at all. They'd leave that. They said in the decision that they would leave that up to the philosophers and the theologians and the medical community. So does our Constitution state anywhere plainly about a child or the unborn's right to life, or anyone's right to life? Well, I got good news. Our framers of our Constitution did put it in our Constitution. In fact, it was so important to them that they put it right on the top. The first thing they said. And they said it in the preamble, which says, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, and promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our what? Posterity. Posterity, who are they? The dictionary defines the word posterity as the offspring of one progenitor to the furthest generation. Preborn, not yet conceived. And it also, as its second definition, all future generations. So I'm speaking to you tonight as a layman, in layman's terms. Would you not agree with me that our Constitution says that the unborn are our posterity? That our Constitution does explicitly protect it. In fact, our Constitution says that's the purpose for which it was written, to secure for its citizens and their posterity. I guess as y'all can tell, I'm not from New York. I was born and raised in a place called Sonota, Florida. And I remember when the laws protecting endangered species first came on the books in Florida, protecting animals like eagles and alligators and sea turtles. Well, this is a true story. Once there was a man who was caught stealing sea turtle eggs off the beaches of Jacksonville. And he was caught because he was violating federal law protecting sea turtles. And his defense was that they weren't yet turtles. The law only protected turtles, not their eggs, and that was his defense. Well, the judge slammed the gavel down and found him guilty anyway. Why? Because as he found him guilty, he said, they would have been turtles, son. They would have been turtles. Isn't it sad that unborn turtles have more federal protection buried in the sand of Florida than our children do in the womb? And I want to thank y'all for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Kilgore. Don't see anybody else from the public coming to address, so we'll continue on with the meeting. Any changes to the minutes of the last committee meeting? Seeing none, we'll proceed into the resolutions.
First resolution this evening is authorizing agreements with the City of Watertown City Bus for transportation services for the elderly.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Navolnik. Second, Mr. Drake. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Next, appointing and reappointing members to the Community Services Board.
Motion, please. Mrs. Fitzpatrick. Second, Mr. Dolo. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Third, amending the 2018 county budget to recognize additional state aid and authorizing amended agreement with the Children's Home in relation thereto.
You have a motion, please. Mr. Dodo, second, Mr. Navolnik. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Authorizing agreement in relation to the Immunization Action Plan funding.
Motion, please. Mrs. Fitzpatrick, second, Mr. Maxson. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Next, accepting funding in connection with the New York State Department of Health Local Health Department Performance Incentive Initiative and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
Motion, please. Mr. Maxson, second, Mr. Dodo. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Appointing members to the Jefferson County Public Health Service Professional Advisory Committee.
Motion, please. Mrs. Fitzpatrick, second, Mr. Maxson. Any discussion? Any other volunteers? I will certainly try harder to make it to the meetings this time around. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Accepting donation on behalf.
Motion, please. Mr. Dodo, second, Mr. Maxson. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Appointing member to the Samaritan Summit Village Board of Directors.
Motion, please. Mr. Maxson, second, Mr. Navolnik. Any discussion? I would say that Mrs. Fitzpatrick has certainly served with distinction there, and I think she's a very valued asset there. So, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. That would be it for resolutions. We do have some monthly reports here, minus one. We're missing the DSS report here, which I've been assured will be sent out to us in due course. Is there any other items or anything of interest that would like to be brought before the committee tonight? Going once, going twice. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Maxson, second, Mr. Dodo. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome to the January meeting of the Standing Committee on Finance and Rules. At this time, is there anyone from the public that would care to have the privilege of the floor? Seeing no one coming to the microphone. Moving on to minutes of last meeting, corrections, deletions. Hearing none, they'll stand as presented. And I believe we're on to Finance and Rules Committee-sponsored resolutions.
The first resolution this evening is appointing representative to Cornell Cooperative Extension Association of Jefferson County, the longest-standing representative on the Cornell board in the county.
May I have a motion, please? Legislator Nabawanek, Legislator McBride. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried.
Next is appointing member to the Regional Fish and Wildlife Management Board.
Motion, please. Legislator Cantwell. Legislator Drake. Thank you. Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Appointing members of Jefferson County Industrial Development Agency.
Motion, please. Legislator McBride. Legislator Drake. Discussion, please. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Appointment to Jury Board.
Motion, please. Legislator Nabawanek. Legislator Fitzpatrick. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Reappointing members to Soil and Water Conservation District Board of Directors.
Motion, please. Legislator Drake. Legislator Johnson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Reappointing members to the Watertown Jefferson County Area Transportation Council.
Motion, please. Legislator Nabawanek. Legislator Cantwell. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Approving reappointments to the Sports Fishery Advisory Board.
Motion, please. Mrs. Fitzpatrick. Second, please. Legislator Nabawanek. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Next one is a very pleasant resolution. Amending the 2017 county budget for sales tax distribution. We haven't done it in a while.
Motion, please. Legislator Fitzpatrick. Legislator McBride. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Amending the policy of the Jefferson County Board of Legislators in regards to the abatement of real property and other taxation for alternate energy projects.
Motion, please. Legislator Johnson. Legislator Nabawanek. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Reappropriating funds from various unspent grants relative to the Fire and Emergency Management Department and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
Motion, please. Legislator Cantwell. Legislator McBride. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Authorizing agreement with the Indian River School District for the school resource officer.
Motion, please. Legislator Nabawanek. Legislator Drake. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you.
Well, I didn't notice your hand, but thank you for.
Well, I was waiting for any committee members first.
Members of the committee.
Yeah,
I'm moving along.
Okay.
Yes. Be my guest.
The question I had is, this is not limited to salary, benefits, equipment, training, overtime. I just want to. What about transportation?
It was all referenced in there that everything, all
Transportation too?
all the costs are borne by the school district.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Well, everybody needs a shot. Why not? Legislator Maxson.
Thank you kindly. Is there a written memorandum of understanding that's going to be drafted, or is it just...
Yes, this is simply the resolution that's authorizing a signature to the MOU. This is in course regards to Indian River. We've been in a program in Indian River now for several years. So essentially extending it for a further time period. And I reference that because with the budget process, we approved something for BOCES. That's yet to be worked out, but frankly, it will be modeled after this MOU.
Satisfactory?
Thank you.
Certainly. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. On to Health and Human Services committee-sponsored resolution.
First one this evening is amending the 2018 county budget to recognize additional state aid and authorizing amended agreement with the Children's Home in relation thereto.
Motion, please. Legislator Johnson. Legislator Fitzpatrick. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Accepting funding in connection with the New York State Department of Health Local Health Department Performance Incentive Initiative and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
May I have a motion, please? Legislator Nablwanek, Legislator McBride. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Accepting donation on behalf of the Department of Social Services and amending the 2018 county budget.
Motion, please. Legislator Johnson. Legislator Fitzpatrick. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. At this time, I would ask for a motion to enter into an executive session for the purpose of discussing the employment of two specific individuals. Legislator Nablwanek, Legislator Cantwell. Discussion. Oh, I guess we don't have discussion on that. Anyway, all in favor? Opposed? We're in executive session.
I, for the record, would point out that we'll have three individuals also with us. The three that are out there in the audience for the moment.
I have to remember that one.